So I would love to hear about how plant medicines ultimately came in to influence that healing journey, and kind of go on a deep dive into what's going on with plant medicines, the psychedelic renaissance, and talk a little bit more about that. So for us now, paint the picture. Take us into the world of Alistair. How many years ago was it? How did plant medicines come to find you? And what was it like embracing them, and what did they do for you?
But I remember I started interacting with different energies.
As you still are part of the food chain. So if you know that you live in a place where there are animals that can eat you, it kind of changes your mindset a little bit.
Have you encountered other people with those goblins? Have you ever seen the goblins?
Awe of the stage of the progression where I'm at in this experience, and what I'm able, how the beauty that I see this universe unfolding before in every moment.
For me, it's unbelievable. I agree. I've always thought I'm living life, but also life is living me.
Yeah. I think first of all, there's a preface. My preface, let's frame this. Let's give it a funny biographical notion and a tragic one. So the tragic one was, again, I was 2 years and 8 months old. I play in the kitchen. The boiling hot coffee machine, these automatic coffee machines from the 80s, falls over, and I burn my whole left upper leg. And I wake up, basically my father driving me to the hospital. And this was always my first childhood experience. I was never able to go before that childhood experience. And the result, which only got detected way too late, was what you would call post-traumatic stress disorder. My coping mechanism was to develop almost prodigy-like mental faculties, like being super good in school and learning to read and write and stuff like that. And my coping mechanism was mainly alcohol and party, So I was not a heavy alcoholic. I was one of these guys who just did party a lot in their 20s. I really luckily, and knock on wood here, I never touched any hard substance, like whatever cocaine or amphetamines. But I was really a booze and party guy. And in my early 30s, so actually, I don't think you would coin that plant medicine. I knew that one of my closest friends was doing work with psychedelics, not like in a party setting. So I remember a day when I was 31, where I got administered MDMA from this guy who was not a professional psychotherapist, but trained in psycholytics therapy. And I was asked to only focus on one question. And the one question was, how did you feel before you burned yourself, your left upper leg? And it didn't really come to a feeling or a solution, or nothing came up. And I got administered a dash more, which sometimes can happen. And then suddenly, after, I have no idea, maybe 2 hours or so, and MDMA in a strict sense is not a psychedelic, but I really think it's important to frame then my other journeys. And suddenly there was this feeling, which I think you can even hear from the tone of my voice, or even more when you see me dancing or doing a workout. I always in my whole life had this incredible, huge amount of life current running through me. But in a way, what happened through the trauma is I was afraid myself of that life force, because ultimately I was always afraid of again hurting myself. And in multiple instances, which would be too lengthy, which many traumatized people, or it's an abused word because everybody just uses it, but in my sense, it makes sense. I was really time and again creating circumstances to basically re-traumatize myself,